Welcome to the OutThere Colorado Podcast. Once again, I'm Spencer here with Seth.
Hello.
We got Tim over there on the sound and
Tim.
video. Got a lot of interesting things to talk about once again today.
Yes. While I toil with my computer.
Yeah, Seth.
There might
Seth's
be a nice
computer is-
sideshow on the show today.
Yeah, I'm going to be pulling double work on Google over here, trying to fact check Seth and make sure he's fully accurate in everything he's
Today's
talking
the
about.
show. Today is the
Today-
show where I prove that I have my own brain.
Yeah,
I have my own thoughts.
I believe in you.
I can produce my own thoughts without the computer.
Yeah, I believe in you. If you want to see this live, or not live, I guess, but if you want to see video of this whole
Oh, yes.
situation going down, this will be on YouTube.
It's quite exciting, this
Right.
situation.
Usually about a day or so after we record, so you can watch it there. Obviously, you can get it on Apple or Spotify as well. But yeah, let's dig into it. My weekend wasn't too eventful. I went back to Indiana, just a nice little family trip. Hung out at the home. So I don't
Nice.
have too much to say as far as that goes. But
That's fun.
what do you get into?
Oh, well, it was my wedding anniversary.
Oh, nice.
So,
Congratulations.
Yeah. Pretty awesome, man. 7 years. 7 years. Good number. And we went to, we're always pretty reliable here with our food recommendations.
Mhm.
Tried the newish first year Italian restaurant here in downtown Colorado Springs called Oro, which
There
means
you go.
gold, which is a fitting name for this place. I felt like I struck it rich over there.
Nice. And it's located at
Downtown, what is that? Right by the mining exchange.
mining
If people are
exchange,
familiar with
yeah.
the famous hotel downtown here.
so Oro,
On that block.
fitting name on that.
For sure. Yep.
Love to. Appears to be, looking at a map, appears to be where Springs Orleans was, for those of you familiar
If
with
that helps, yep.
the dining landscape of downtown
Yeah.
Colorado Springs. What
Very
do you-
good, very good vibe. I mean, they really decorate. I mean, I want the interior designer of that. I would hire that interior designer.
There you go.
It's a really beautiful space and very tasty dish of one of those like classic, like just simple is better. And I was reminded of that with this pasta I got, which was this kind of looked interesting. Like pesto linguine.
Mm.
So kind of green pasta, but basking in a red sauce as well,
Mm.
along with some like a big dollop of whipped ricotta on there.
Ooh, that
Right?
does
Simple,
sound
but
delicious.
really good.
Yeah, simple is sometimes best, especially with
Yeah.
like Italian food. I'm a fan of the simple pastas as well.
Yep.
Very cool. What'd you get?
We shared that, and then I got this bolognese of like,
Ooh.
man, I think there was like some bison and beef in there.
Is it the rigatoni bolognese?
That's it.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at the
You see,
menu
you're
right
looking
now.
at it. I don't have the benefit
Yeah,
of that.
got
with my
local bison, pork,
Fritz
beef.
computer.
Ooh, that looks good.
Yeah,
too.
it was good.
Pancetta.
Yeah, super good.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the classic food recommendation per episode. We try to get you at least one every time, and that sounds like a good one. 4.5 stars on Google reviews.
I'm sure we're in, like we're probably whetting the appetites of Coloradans not here in Colorado Springs. We're, inevitably we're always talking about
Yeah,
these
right.
Springs restaurants, and so
That's true.
people outside might be thinking about next time I'm in the Springs.
Yeah, got a
Spot.
nice list here from the show.
We're
Yeah,
here to serve.
I haven't eaten yet today, so my mouth is over here watering
Wow.
for sure.
See how
Um,
Spencer does today.
Yeah, we'll see how I do. But it was either eat right before this and go food coma status, or just ride it out with my Spindrift here. Once again, not sponsored by Spindrift, but
Dude.
seems to be a favorite among all of us. Tim holding up his Spindrift in unison over there with me.
Speaking of coma, my computer is in one right now.
Yeah, not working too hot.
Not the food variety, but
Well, that's okay.
the technical variety.
We'll make it work
Yeah.
today.
We're good.
Oh yeah, here I'll get into this first topic. Something I wanted to talk about. I was reading about it a bit over the weekend, a little bit. Or I guess last couple days a little bit, and then doing a little bit of research on it this morning. But a wood stork has been
Yeah.
spotted in Colorado, in Broomfield, Colorado, at the Alex and Michaels Pond.
Huh.
Which I was like, odd name for a pond. And I was like, is this just in
Oh.
someone's backyard? But
Yeah.
it is actually a pond. It's over there on West 132nd Avenue and Zuni Street.
Alex and Michael's Pond.
Yeah, pretty wild though. So this bird, it's massive. Its wingspan's like 5+ feet. And it's the only stork that is a birthing species in in America. Normally found in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. Very, very rarely makes it as far as Colorado. There's only been 2 sightings in Colorado, one in the Littleton area in 1902, like literally over 100 years ago, right? And another one in the Denver area in 1934.
Wow.
And that's it. And that's according to the Colorado Bird Records Committee, which is apparently a thing. Sounds like they track sightings. But yeah, pretty wild stuff. Yeah,
and
just,
maybe
I don't
you
know
already
how it got here, but
I was gonna say maybe you already mentioned it, but as to where it would have came from, where it could have came from.
I mean, down in the south,
Right,
southeast, like Florida area is
Yeah.
pretty much where they are most known to be. They are considered a threatened species, so it's one of those things where
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hey, I know
big
what that
white
journey is
stork with like black feathers on its arm or on its wings and on its tail. So
Yeah.
kind of a cool little wildlife
Very
thing.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes a nice segue into a pretty big wildlife topic that we wanted to address. You just had a piece come out about it. I wrote about it a little bit as well. But the elk rut
I know.
in Estes Park said to be one of your favorite things to check out.
Yeah, it really is one of my favorite scenes of Colorado. And I think I was probably spoiled because a couple of years ago, man, so we were like walking around Lake Estes, kind of by the golf course over there. You know, there's a trail that just goes along the lake all the way around. And I got to see 2 of them clash in the water. Like horns,
Dang, like
antlers,
brutal.
It was
show of nature.
super epic.
Jeez.
The Battle of Lake Estes, as I called it.
Was there a clear winner?
How did it end? I can't remember how it ended. Drew quite the crowd, as you could imagine.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, an MMA Saturday night fight had nothing on this.
Well,
Monday afternoon, I think. I don't know what it was, but
man, and you'll see all the videos of like the elk like crossing a street in Estes Park just in massive herds.
Yeah.
And I mean, to give people an idea of what elk rut is, they're essentially going from higher elevations in the mountainous terrain to lower elevations, which happen to be in the Estes Park area, an area that apparently they've kind of migrated down into for a long time before Estes Park was even there. And yeah, I mean, it's part of their like mating period, right, where the bulls essentially like fight each other over the harem of female elk, as they are described by wildlife professionals. So
yeah, I've heard it described as a wildlife soap opera. Is how the on-site conservancy executive director once put it to me. I think she said like it feels like you're like in a nature documentary.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Because it's true, like you're really able to witness what this season is. The season of love seeking is like, and all of its nitty gritty. So yeah, the bulls will bugle to impress these cows that they're trying to gather and build their harem around.
Which sounds like almost like a screeching scream. Like it's not
exactly what one might call masculine.
Yeah, you would think something was dying if you hear it like late at night and stuff. Just that, it's
but like early morning, just hearing that pierce like the early morning air. That's always something like I'll just never forget. And yeah, so they'll chase, they'll perform acts that should be private, but are rendered in a big audience of people typically. So you got to cover the eyes of the little ones when things get intimate. And then in other ways, they'll get physically active with fellow competing bulls. Yeah, sometimes they'll fight. I think that's fairly rare that you get to witness that. Could be wrong.
Well, and they'll fight to the death sometimes too. Like
really?
You'll see some of the photos where they're just like all bloodied. Oh yeah, and and you'll see some of the other like maybe more jarring images from elk rut and just around the globe where these elk are doing these fights is when they'll get stuck together with their antlers and then it just leaves them trapped there, unable to separate.
We gotta live with each other now, man.
Yeah, and usually it ends with one of them dying and the other one pulling away with its skull still attached. Is like you can find photos of that.
Wow.
We won't include those on the show.
Wow.
Big grizzly, but
so yeah, Estes Park mid-September through much of October. Lot things to know. I mean, it hopefully this goes without saying for our audience, but keep your distance. I mean, as we've been discussing, these bulls can be more aggressive during the rut season. 75 feet, they say. There's like that rule of thumb rule, where you put your thumb up, and if you can still see it,
you're too close.
Outside the outline of your thumb, you're too close. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those. Colorado Parks and Wildlife was promoting that a while back, and as part of a larger campaign. And outstretch your arm.
Yeah.
Look at the tip of your thumb. Try to cover the animal.
Yeah. Keep your distance. Keep your conversations low.
Oh, inevitably we'll get videos.
Really quiet.
We'll get videos of people getting charged by elk. Inevitably happens every year.
Yep.
A few that stick out in my head. I think there was a golfer who had his I want to say his kidney lacerated when he got gored by an elk.
Wow.
So
yeah.
People getting trampled, and they'll do that little bluff charge, and half the time the people just kind of fall over as they scramble to get away.
Yeah.
Don't get close to them. And
warning,
you'll see them
Sarah.
on the trails, it's just because they're close to a trail, it still might not safe to be going by them on that trail.
Yep.
They're wild animals.
Also to keep in mind, as far as Rocky Mountain goes, the reservations are still in place, right? If you're trying to go into the park. So double check me on this, but I think for access to most of the park, that's not the very popular Bear Lake Road corridor. Reservations are needed between 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So very often you do, people looking out for elk will go into the park without reservations before early in the morning when they're most active, and also late afternoon, closer to dusk when they're not active. But again, that doesn't include the Bear Lake corridor. Bear Lake, I think that reservation period is all day,
I'm not
early morning and into the evening. So
wish it was more familiar, but you can find that on the Rocky Mountain National Park website.
Yeah, but I'm just recalling going in when you'd want to see elk. You want to go in early anyway. When that reservation period hasn't started yet, or you'd want to go later in the afternoon / early evening. And then around town, right there at the, I can picture them right there at the park.
Oh yeah, they're
Main
walking
Street,
down Main Street. Yeah, it's
the golf courses, which I think are seasonally closed, aren't they?
I think so.
When the elk
yeah,
come
for
in,
the elk, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they're always around the golf courses.
Get a nice Colorado traffic jam situation.
Busy time around Rocky Mountain National Park.
Yeah, just go pop by the Stanley Hotel, maybe catch a ride on the Estes Park tramway.
Yeah, we talked about that.
A couple things we've chatted about in recent episodes, and then see some elk. Make sure your dogs are on a leash. Can't stress that enough. Because elk and all cervids, for the most part, as far as I know, tend to view dogs as a natural predator. So they, regardless of the size of the dog, you'll hear all these stories about dogs getting trampled. So the safest thing to do, keep them on a leash. Also important, just so your dog's not harassing wildlife. But just keep them on a leash, especially if you see elk in the vicinity. Let's dig into might as well keep it on some wildlife here. I know nothing about this topic. We talked about surfing in Colorado last week, which is a bit of a surprising activity that a lot of people probably missed out on. But let's talk about spearfishing. I'm gonna put Seth's memory to the challenge here.
Well, guess what? I think I got my computer back.
Well, there we go.
I can consult my my notes.
Well, there we go. Yeah, let's talk about spearfishing.
Yeah, I plugged into this one of every so often, those Colorado Parks and Wildlife Commission. I take a look at those agendas just to see what the topics are, what's on deck, what's on the mind of those rule makers, right, for Colorado Parks and Wildlife, that body there. And recently in August, one point was on spearfishing. So I thought, what's going on with spearfishing in Colorado? Learned a lot. Notably, so over the years, there's been an effort to expand opportunities for spearfishing around Colorado. My understanding is where swimming is allowed and where diving is allowed. Now, mind you, that automatically limits fisheries around the state as we know it. Lakes, reservoirs. There aren't too many that allow that activity in the first place.
Scuba diving.
Yeah. Explaining why there's just not all that many places where spearfishing is allowed because diving's not allowed, right? So there's been this effort over the years to kind of expand those opportunities. Also should be worth saying, the state as it is now, where diving is allowed, where swimming is allowed, the state has allowed fishing for species that are considered invasive or nuisances. So meaning northern pike, and carp, I want to say. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think there are some invasive carp.
Northern pike and carp. And then to an extent, Lake Pueblo has allowed catfish and wipers as well.
Dang.
So I didn't know that. But,
It's pretty wild.
But probably why did I not know that? Because there are very few people who are spearfishing.
Yeah, I've got a few friends that do spearfishing elsewhere, not in Colorado, but they're scuba divers, so they do it elsewhere. And they've mentioned, now that I'm thinking about it, I think at Pueblo is what they were talking about. That it happens there. I don't know if they're looking into doing it, but that's pretty wild.
The state issues hundreds of thousands of fishing licenses. In recent years, it's like I think it's between 800 and 900,000. And along with this petition that was presented to the Parks and Wildlife Commission, there was this analytical paper that alluded to like maybe 100 of those licenses are people who are spearfishing. Like it's small.
Dang.
So it's kind of interesting that we're talking about this because how much does this really apply? To a lot of everyday people.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Colorado
so
has.
It is, yeah.
Isn't it like the highest per capita scuba divers with a landlocked state or state or something like that?
There's another surprising component of this that a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, which I mean, spearfishing and scuba diving apparently can go hand in hand quite a bit.
Yep.
A lot of scuba divers have maybe done it here and there, sampled with it.
So for people who don't know, Colorado is one of the top states for people getting certified, which I think speaks to. I mean, I think the only way you can explain that is just the adventurous attitude Coloradans have.
Yeah.
And wanting to go somewhere else when they can and wanting to explore in other ways when they can. Hence they get certified in Colorado to go to those places. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't have like ocean beaches here, so it makes sense. You want to go you want to plan your vacations for an ocean, and scuba diving, top activity.
As it was described to me, like people who would be maybe scuba diving where scuba diving happens, they really want to come ski,
Yeah, right.
Just as we trade places that way. But anyway, long story short, there was another discussion about expanding this across popular reservoirs around the state, including Horsetooth, including Twin Lakes, and expanding on really along with the fisheries, the fish that are allowed to be spearfished. That was part of this effort too. The proposal was like one fish per species, a lot of ins and outs relating to length and that sort of thing. Long story short, commissioners shot it down almost unanimously, citing a lot of the concerns that have followed this effort for almost a decade now. Points on how is this getting enforced? How from a distance, can you really tell what you're shooting? There's points about, anglers from their boats, from shore, they can catch and release. You shoot that spear, you're killing, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and that's kind of at the heart of the debate, is that for a lot of people, it's just like a very basic, direct infringement on catch and release ethics. So, as the guy who's kind of leading this effort put it to me, like, as he's tried to educate and speak on what's been trumpeted as like conservation efforts that spearfishers is what they're called, claim, about controlling invasives, controlling nuisance species, where that happens elsewhere across the West, where this has been expanded. There's still just that sentiment of, like, this is not a sport, this is cheating. You're able to dive deep where some of these big lunkers could be seeking a refuge, So there's a lot of just very ethical points that is following this effort along. But it seems like the debate will maybe keep going. It sounds like there's still an interest to... It should be said, Colorado Parks and Wildlife officially stood behind this proposal. The agency was in support, formally, of this proposal. It was the commissioners at the end who, that rulemaking body who said, no, we're not there yet for this. So
interesting.
Sounds like it's going to continue. I heard the one leading this effort say, he wants to get back at it and go back to the drawing board and see where there might be an opportunity. But for now, that effort is not moving forward right now. I have an interesting
we'll have to
point
follow
of
along with that for
Colorado outdoor recreation that we don't hear a whole lot about.
Yeah, let's get into another topic of Colorado outdoor recreation that you covered. What was it, yesterday? I think the ski area opening days. Any big surprises there?
No.
Pretty standard stuff.
Yeah, standard stuff. I don't know. Last year I was thinking about how I think I mentioned this last week. A lot of these places that we expect to open like mid-October, late October, got into early November last year.
Yeah.
Remember A Basin? So I'll kind of be curious. How that shakes this year.
Yeah, well, while we're on the topic of skiing and to kind of revisit that topic, I think the first official date that's been thrown out there for reopenings is Breckenridge, Copper Mountain on November 7th, but you have places like A Basin, Keystone, Loveland, Winter Park, Wolf Creek that are aiming for October too. So
Right.
So and those are all TBD, just based on conditions. So we'll have to wait and see for sure. But on the topic of skiing, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite skiing movie of all time?
Favorite skiing movie of all time? How many skiing movies have I watched?
I'll share mine, and it's probably going to draw some heat.
Yeah, jog my memory here.
So Hot Tub Time Machine is going to be my
Is that a skiing
favorite.
movie?
I think it has. They go skiing.
Gosh,
right?
It's been a long time since I watched that.
All takes place at a ski resort, But yeah, that's got to be a favorite of mine.
I'm looking it up. Best ski movies of all time.
Out Cold, another one. That's another classic. I mean, even the Aspen episode of South Park is always worth revisiting, where they teach you all about pizza and French frying on the mountain and how important it is to know which is which.
Eddie the Eagle.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
was that
about
a pretty bad movie. I feel like I watched that.
Yeah, let's look it up.
Tim says it was fine.
Yeah, that's the one about he's like a long distance
True
ski
story.
jumper, right?
True story, right?
Yeah, he's a ski jumper, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one, so
yeah.
let's see what it's rated on Rotten Tomatoes and maybe throw that a shot. 82 on both the fan meter and the critic meter, so yeah, must be pretty decent.
Telluride, there was some good stuff looking at Telluride Film Festival over the weekend. The new Springsteen movie coming out.
Oh,
Jeremy Allen White. I saw there was like a flower shop that put like a sign out. Jeremy Allen White, we have flowers for you. And sure enough, he came by.
Yeah, he came.
That's cool.
A man who's he's known for like The Bear. He was in Shameless.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, often seen for whatever reason carrying bouquets of flowers. By paparazzi. So kind of playing into that, and apparently
like Emma Stone was there for her new movie coming out.
Oh.
I always forget. I'd love to go to the Telluride Film Festival one of these years.
Yeah, it'd be so cool.
Yeah.
I've had a few friends that have gone, and they say it's shocking how many like very notable film industry people you just see walking around town.
Yeah, walking around just little mountain town Telluride. Yeah.
And like legendary film people too, not just
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Yeah, that the Emma Stone movie looks kind of interesting. That's coming out.
That director's been on a run lately.
Yeah, Bugonia, I think is how you say it, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's based on a true story, and it's like a CEO that gets kidnapped or something. Yeah, it looks interesting. I think she shaves her head for the movie too. So yeah.
All that.
But yeah, let's get back to some Colorado
I don't know
stuff.
ski movies, man. I don't. I mean, even looking at the top 10, I just haven't watched these, man.
Well, sounds like you got some stuff to watch for winter.
Ski school.
Of course. I mean, speaking of movies that just take place in ski resorts, right? You've got Dumb and Dumber,
right?
Famously shot. I believe it was shot in Breckenridge, even though they are going to Aspen, which provides the perfect segue into our next topic. I was gonna ask you, and I'm still gonna do it, but where do you think the most expensive place to go on a vacation is in America?
So I'm assuming you're bringing this up because it's in Colorado.
In Colorado.
All right, that narrows it down. I think I gotta go Vail.
Aspen.
All right, that would probably be my next guess.
According to Go Banking Rates, is a recent thing that came out from them, recent report.
That would
basically it looked at a couple going to a vacation spot anywhere in the country for 3 nights during a set weekend in August, and then while they're there, they're having 3 meals at a mid-range restaurant, 12 meals at inexpensive restaurants, 6 beers and 6 sodas. And then they basically crunch the data to see how much does it cost across the country. And once the numbers were once the numbers were crunched, 91 cities included originally, cut down to 55 cities due to a lack of data. But of those 55 cities that ended up in the final report, Aspen was the number one most expensive spot. Yeah, so how much do you think it costs a couple to go to Aspen for 3 days, according to this report?
3 days.
Or 3 nights, I guess.
Yep. I'm going to say $1,100. The hotel. I mean, shoot. I'm going to say close to $5,000.
So it's important to say with the hotels, they said the cheapest, I think they had like a star rating option, but the cheapest option within a 5-mile radius too. So you're not like right downtown. The total cost was determined to be $2,708 for a couple going to Aspen.
I overshot.
For 3 nights.
Big time overshot. They must have spent some time at the Woody Creek Tavern maybe to limit the bill.
There you go. Yeah, shout out to a former episode that we have here. You can go hunt that down.
Or shout out to Big Rap. Is that what it's called? I really like that place. You can always get a good affordable lunch over there in Aspen.
Well, Woody Creek Tavern, famously a favorite of Hunter S. Thompson.
Yep.
Yeah, the most expensive part of this trip, though, too. So, airfare, right? They have them flying into Aspen's airport, which that's where I was kind of like, most people probably fly into Denver.
Yeah.
And Denver, so Aspen flights per couple, round trip, were priced at $1,341, and that's for both people. Denver flights were priced at $745. So, get about $600 of savings potentially flying into Denver instead, but then you got to get to Aspen too. So
renting the car.
Yeah. So
driving.
Out of the 55 spots, Colorado Springs ranked as 34th out of the 55 in terms of how expensive. So kind of on the cheaper end there. Denver ranked as 43rd.
Colorado Springs was more.
Yeah, Colorado Springs more expensive. Probably a factor, the airfare, I would imagine.
Flying into the Colorado Springs.
Yeah, that was probably the case. Definitely cheaper flights in Denver. Also, I mean, lodging's a little bit more limited maybe in Colorado Springs. It's also important to remember this is an August weekend they're talking about too. So that's not necessarily peak season for Aspen, I'd have to imagine, in terms of like, winter ski season. A lot of people still there year round, but either way, the cheapest place in the United States for a vacation was determined to be Clearwater, Florida, costing just $998 for a similar trip. So, yeah,
Clearwater is the place for a affordable getaway.
Yeah, almost like a third of the cost. So this was interesting too. So they included the local cost per beer in for each of these cities, right? So there's a bit of variance there. Beer was determined to be $7.50 in Aspen, right? So Aspen $7.50, most expensive spot. Where do you think the cheapest beer in the country? And this is going to be a city that you probably wouldn't think of.
Will you give me the state?
Smaller city.
Or like region?
Yeah, region Midwest.
Okay.
Cheapest beer in the country.
Midwest. Springfield, Illinois.
Close. Branson, Missouri.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'd probably on, similar cities, I guess.
They got better water in Branson, I believe.
Yeah, $3.75 for domestics. So, about half the price.
Sweet.
Or exactly half the price, I guess, of what they calculated in Aspen.
Better retire in Branson.
Yeah. Some of these spots were like, you get into like New York City and stuff. I think that was like $9. I think LA was $9.50. Don't quote me on that. Go to the GoBankingRates.com article to really get your full report there. But
just had a friend move to LA from Indianapolis.
Ooh,
big
change.
That'll be quite a big change for him.
Price-wise especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always shocked. Even in like the Indianapolis airport, like the beers are, still under $10 often.
Yeah.
Whereas in like Denver, you're looking at 15 or whatever.
Never flew into Indy. No, you would have.
It's a nice
spent
airport.
a lot of time in Indy.
Yeah, it's a good airport. It was really nice traveling this last trip with not having to take things out of the bag or your shoes off.
Yeah.
At either airport. Denver has reworked their entire security area. I don't know if you've gone through that yet, but yeah, you fly through it.
Man,
it took us like 2 minutes. Once we hit the line, we were on the other side of security in 2 minutes.
I have not I don't feel like I've ever complained about DIA.
Yeah, same.
You know, having spent my life going in and out of O'Hare in Chicago, maybe
Mhm.
there's some perspective there.
Yeah.
But yeah, easy.
Yeah, my only complaint is it
Generally.
feels like they tend to like bump back that flight from DIA to Colorado Springs a little bit, and I don't have the data in front of me, so but it just in my experience, like that always catches me some, like it feels like half the time when I have that connecting flight,
Yeah.
that it will
Well.
have a little bit of a delay. One time I was delayed for like 8 hours, but the plane was frozen, so very hard to be up in Denver trying to get back to Colorado Springs and then spend 8 hours there. I'm like, I could have literally like ridden a bicycle in that amount of time.
You could have hoofed it.
Yeah.
Do you fly out of the Colorado Springs airport often?
Not much. Generally it's a price thing, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Just it
still
tends to be a little cheaper.
It's still hard to rationalize it.
But
often.
I am for an upcoming trip, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Like very chill vibes at the Colorado Springs airport. You're
pull up, park, walk on in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
12 gates, I think is what it is.
Yeah, something like that.
I
12
flew,
or 18. Yeah, something.
I flew to Vegas in March. At a you know, it was like more than Denver, but it wasn't that much more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll do it if it's not $300 more.
Yeah, if it's like
I'll do it if it's $100 more, because then it's like, parking in Denver, driving to Denver.
You
know,
don't have to wake up as early to get up there in time. Yeah,
big time.
And it's just chiller vibes. Like they have that. They have the, you know, they still have like a bar and beers.
Bar there.
Yeah, I mean you can just hang out, get some food.
Yep.
And a good view from there too, looking at the mountains. You know,
Yep.
just no. I fly out of the Springs Airport whenever I get the chance to. But it's usually if it's within $50 is about my limit. It's like if it's within $50, I'm gonna go Springs. But
gotta get more flights.
Yep.
To get those prices down.
Got to. All right.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think we got maybe time here for maybe one more topic on the day. Talking about trail running, which is kind of a double topic. The running in general. So, a record that had stood for a couple decades.
Try adding 20 more on that.
So
42 years.
42
in the
years.
history of the Leadville 100.
Yeah, so that record fell.
Wait a minute. I got to double check that.
Yeah,
But decades. The race has been there for 42 years, and no woman had ever raced under 18 hours.
Dang.
Yeah.
And that was broken this year.
That was broken.
You caught up with the record setter.
Yes, and she broke a record set in the 90s.
All right.
Check me there. Think.
Yeah.
Long-standing record. So yes, I got to catch up with Ann Flower, who was kind of seen as this surprise winner at the Leadville Trail 100. Not only winner, but record breaker, as we just discussed. Yeah. A lot of headlines came out real quick about this 35-year-old ER doctor in Colorado Springs who just crushed the Leadville Trail 100 record in what was her first 100-mile race.
That's incredible. Yeah, original record here set in 1994.
There you go.
So,
yeah, there you go.
31
But I guess
years.
my mind was on her going under 18 hours. That was the first time a woman had ever done that in the history of this race, which goes back 42 years. Yeah. So quite the run for Ann Flower. And as she told me, you know, she's back working a triage shift at the ER that following Monday, and people could care less, you know. She's busy.
Yeah. That is wild.
But outside, the trail running world was all abuzz about this this pretty incredible performance.
Yeah, and it looks like, so the top male, looks like David Roach,
Mm-hmm.
finished 15 hours and 12 minutes. Second place male finished 18 hours and 6 minutes, so behind
She
Ann
was
Flower.
second overall.
Yeah, and
Pretty amazing.
that looks like she beat the second place female, if I'm reading this correctly here, by about over an hour and a half. That's
She was cooking.
incredible. Yeah.
I think she took the lead at like around mile 30 is what she was telling me, and never looked back.
Dang.
But yeah, it was like a pretty refreshing conversation about just someone who likes running, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, I think as I wrote, like, more passionate about running than
Mm-hmm.
pretty much everyone else, you know, probably. But like, you know, someone not sounding too interested in being a pro runner or having all the sponsorships necessarily. Just someone who started running when she was going through med school because, as she put it, like, it was just something she could control, you know, where med school. There's so many variables and so much stress, and she'd get up in the morning and run and feel in control and feel good afterward. And, like first marathon she ever ran, I think, was that, what'd you say, 2015 or 2016? Won that.
Dang.
First ultra she ever ran was in Moab. As she described it, like showed up in like soccer shorts and, gym shoes and not knowing, from the Midwest.
That's awesome.
Not really knowing the gear. People are like, hey, you gotta have like, your handy water bottles, and like
that's awesome.
She won that, like
yeah, that's like as someone who recently started running in their adult life type of thing,
Yeah.
I can relate to that because my first runs, I was literally just in like the equivalent of like basketball shoes and like like big baggy shorts, and like I was carrying a plastic water bottle in my hand,
Yep.
That's awesome.
I got the sense like she didn't want to sound like, she didn't want to sound like she just showed up and won, but she kind of did.
Yeah, kind of did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats to her. That is, and probably a record that'll stand for quite some time, I would imagine.
Super, super cool person.
It is.
Doing an important job
Mm-hmm.
in the ER, and that was the other thing. Like, there's so many people who describe a race like this as a sufferfest, right? 100 miles in those mountains, the things your body and mind go through. But she's kind of like, like you're not suffering. You can step aside. You can call it quits. There are she sees people suffering on a daily basis. And this is just something fun for her. Yeah, as simple as that. Yeah,
that's very cool. It's funny that she's an ER doctor too, because one of my buddies who I knew that runs ultras, also an ER doctor.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's that
there's something
his schedule too, right? He's like, a few days on and then like good amount of days off, and it's like you have some of those little breaks where you can kind of go out and do these things, which really cool. I'd be curious what her schedule is like in terms of like how many days out of the month.
And there's probably just something with that organizational mind,
Mm-hmm.
In
that
an event
too.
like this, like where you got to be aware of hydration and nutrition and how your body is reacting. There's probably something to that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an ER doctor, you're literally, probably one of the top experts of the human body in the world, and
you're on your feet.
Yeah,
literally.
you got to know about the human body to do something like this, and just from like the logistical aspect, just like the amount of studies that studying that must go into becoming an ER doctor. It's like you're no stranger to being able to do research and really plot out an effective strategy to like go conquer the task at hand.
Yep.
But yeah, that's awesome.
Cool story there.
Very cool. So is she doing any other runs in the future here?
And that's the thing. Like,
about,
that's the obvious question. What's next? And she's like, I really want to start a family. Like
nice.
Like she's cool not maybe running in the near future here if that all works out. Like she's just got that perspective of I have my life and every now and then I run.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So she. What's next? I think she told me she didn't have anything on the calendar.
Yeah. That probably helps with the burnout too, to be honest. When you're training for the long races, you hear a lot of athletes that just like their body burns out, either just from like these consistent injuries or just mentally. It's just, you lose that passion. So.
And that expectation, I think there's probably something to be said about that too. Like, she went into this race having an idea, obviously, but not knowing. Like so many of these people who return every year, they're ready to take on this beast. And she kind of just showed up ready to run, you know?
Dang.
So there's probably something to that too.
What did you, I don't know if you asked her about this, but what would her like longest run have been?
It was 60 something miles.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's wild too. That's a big jump from that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I need to find her on Strava and see what her weekly regimen is, just in terms of how many miles she's putting in.
Yeah, she's hitting it pretty hard, I think, around here in town. A lot of big runs in North Cheyenne Canyon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Dang.
Garden of the Gods. She's close to Garden of the Gods, so
that's so cool.
Yeah, be fun to follow her. See what she does next.
Yeah, for sure.
Because she just has a tendency of showing up and winning these things.
There we go.
Yep.
I love that mentality too.
Yeah, just refreshing.
It's refreshing. They're less competitive in a sense, and just like
enjoy
Yeah,
it.
just enjoying the run.
Yep.
Which people that enjoy the run, seems like they end up running for a much larger portion of their life. So yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, I think that's about everything we've got. Unless you want to chat about the Pikes Peak Marathon?
We can do it now, or we can do it next week, whatever.
Yeah, let's
knock it out while we're on the running topic.
Yeah, we're talking about running.
Yeah,
70th anniversary of Pikes Peak Marathon
coming up later this month.
Yeah,
on the topic of trail running. I mean, really. 70th anniversary, 70th running coming up, going back to the 1950s here, and it was a fun chance to kind of go down memory lane and look into how this whole thing started. And really, I mean, people may or may not realize, like, really, this race came along in what was early days for marathons, and what was very much the frontier of trail running / mountain running. You know, when that was extremely taboo. You know. Marathons, Pikes Peak Marathon calls itself one of the oldest. It calls itself the longest going because they ran during COVID, unlike Boston Marathon.
So it's founded in 1956.
Yep. So Boston Marathon, another one in New York, and others had been going decades before then. In cities, on pavement. The idea of a marathon on a mountain, a 14,000-foot mountain no less, was pretty bizarre. Going back to the 50s.
Yeah, and to be clear, this race runs up Pikes Peak. Like, you go up.
You've done it? Well,
I've done the ascent a few times. Yeah, I've done the ascent.
The one way.
So I've gone the uphill way, but with the marathon, you go up then you go down. So it's, 20, the ascent is 13.3 miles. I think the marathon is 26.2 though. The ascent has like a little bit of a longer stretch from the start line or something like that. You gain 7,800 vertical feet on the route. So I've only done the ascent, but the ascent there is no point where you're like going downhill really.
Yeah.
Like even like the lighter graded areas, like you feel like you're going downhill because you're just going steep the whole way.
Yep.
It is exhausting, and then also you're battling the elevation.
Yep.
And just the altitude sickness has a potential, like you're doing one of the most strenuous things you can be doing for so long. You're probably dehydrated. It's very hard to manage your hydration levels on a run like that where you're just sweating so much.
Yep.
And then, you get to the top, and then you're at 14,000 feet for the ascent. But
you're starting in town where it might be a nice warm morning, and you might run up to into the clouds where it could be raining, could be snowing,
Oh, the
weather
year.
changes,
Yeah, first year I did the ascent. It was kind of like that, where got up there, and this would have been year after the start of COVID, I think. But get up there, and it was just like winds blasting, and there's snow piling up in like little places on the trail and stuff. And, and you get up there, and you go into that nice new summit house they built, and you can warm up there, but you're still just that. Every single time, the altitude sickness gets me. Like that's out of anything I've done in the mountains, that's always when I feel the sickest. And they shuttle you up for the ascent. They shuttle you off the mountain pretty quickly, and it's really good shuttle service. They get you down to like the Glen Cove area pretty fast. But the whole way back to Manitou, I just feel like I'm going to puke in the bus. And people are talking and happy and laughing, and I'm just like, they're absolutely miserable.
Yeah. So for sure, like a super challenging, a super hard run. But I think, like, I was reflecting as I was doing the reporting on this, like, I think like part of the legend of this race, America's Ultimate Challenge, also speaking to how challenging it is. I think part of the legend too is how like it is in terms of mountain running, in terms of trail running as we know it, like the Leadville Trail 100, like we talked about, like one of the older ones, like Western States 100, right? These big, long endurance races that have really taken the scene in mountain running. I think part of Pikes Peak's allure is that it is, I'm not calling it accessible, but more accessible. Like it has attracted people from a lot of different backgrounds, who are able to say like they did this. I think that's part of the legend of it.
Well, and a cool part of that too is, you obviously have people that are running the whole thing, or doing their best to run the whole thing.
And some people hiking it.
Yeah, some people
fast hiking it.
Yeah, they split it up. And like with the cutoff time, it's like if you're doing a fast hike and maybe jogging a little bit here and there, like it's doable. So that's
like you said, the split off times are clearly there to show that not everyone can do this, right? Like it's not for everyone. But, like people can do it. People can take it on.
Yeah.
As they have since the 1950s. So like it started, I think it's funny about this, there was this doctor, right? I think in Florida, who wanted to prove the harmful effects of smoking cigarettes.
Mhm.
And he looked to America's Mountain to prove his point out west at Pikes Peak. Put on this race. Who won it? A guy out of California who was like a Mr. America competitor, vegetarian, non-smoker.
It was the smokers versus the non-smokers, right? Like there was a whole
And there was a local guy who definitely tested the theory. A guy who loved smoking about as much as he loved running, and he would win it.
Dang.
Sometimes after that, yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, I got to chat with Rick Trujillo, who is a name that ultra runners might know. He went on to start the Imogene Pass 100 run that's still going today, along with having a hand in the Hard Rock 100, very famous. But chatting with him was super fun. He's a native of Ouray, where he told the story of just when he was a teenager, running around the mountains, and went on to school at CU Boulder, and went back to work in a mine above Ouray, his hometown of Ouray, through the 60s and 70s. And even then, he was like, if you look around, like I might have seen someone running in these mountains like every other year. Like one other person might have been doing that. Like every other year, I might have seen someone.
Dang.
So like, as he told it was like, and then I heard about this crazy race that only crazy people would do in Colorado Springs. And so I got off work on a Friday, drove my my Jeepster across the state, got above Manitou, camped somewhere above Manitou. Car broke down and rolled that car down into town just in time to start the race, 1973, I think it was.
That's awesome.
And he won it, and he's one of those who went on to rack up strings of victories. But it was like that kind of scene, like people weren't really doing that. Like running in the mountains, like he asked off work, and his boss was like, "No, that's stupid. You're not going to run up Pikes Peak. What are you talking about? Yeah, you're not getting off." So he had to work and then drive afterward.
Yeah, no, I'm curious. So the first race in 1956, the winner had a time of 5 hours and 39 minutes. Monty Wolford. So
yeah,
and to put that in perspective, so this is full marathon. The record holder right now, Matt Carpenter,
unbelievable,
set the record in 1993. Went up and down Pikes Peak in 3 hours, 16 minutes, and 39 seconds.
What many say is the most unbeatable record in the world of mountain running.
Yeah, and to kind of put that into perspective too, the ascent record, which is just going up the mountain, was broken in 2023 by one of the best runners in the world, Remy Benet.
Yep.
Well-known name in running. He did that just to climb up the mountain in 2 hours and 20 minutes. So, yeah. So I mean, that's wild stuff. And beat Matt Carpenter, I believe, and his previous record.
He did on the ascent side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a great account. In the 50th year, there's a great book written about the history of the race, and it kind of detailed the very analytical approach that Matt Carpenter took to that bar trail.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing, I mean, he was known for this formula of percent of total time, like all these landmarks and points along the trail where if you're aiming for a certain time, your percent of total time better be here at the W's, better be here at A-frame, kind of wacky. But also, I didn't realize he claimed that you want to run on the edges of the trail. He said if you're running in the middle, you're wasting time. Like
really?
It takes more steps in the middle.
Dang.
So he
That's
said he was quoted in the book as saying, "It's kind of crazy that my shirt doesn't have more stains from tree leaves because I'm running with the trees."
Well, I mean, you see the videos of him on his trip down from that record-setting run, and it's incredible. Like he's running like 6-minute pace down the mountain, like over rocks. I don't know what pace it was, but it's wild. He's flying. He knows
every tree route, every rock,
every rock he's stepping on. Like he's incredible.
Anyway.
Owns an ice cream shop in Manitou Springs now, right?
For in recent years, yes, I heard he sold it.
He sold it.
Yeah.
Oh,
but that's been the other funny thing. Like, there's people like Killian Jornet who showed up trying to beat that marathon record, and I just kind of picture Matt Carpenter scooping custard,
Yeah, right.
waving as he come back into town.
It's true. A true legend. A true legend in trail running.
For sure.
Yeah, I guess that kind of. The other crazy thing is some people do the ascent and the marathon. It's called a doubler.
Doublers.
Got to mention that. You get a special jacket.
I talked to the guy who has the record for most of those.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Or got a record. Yeah.
What's his name?
Brenton Buxton.
Okay.
Now, when he had that record for the doubles, he maintains the record for most consecutive runs, whether that's ascent and or marathon. He's coming back for his 43rd year, I want to say, straight. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Just an example of one of those who has just been inspired by that run. That's just where he's got to be, where he communes.
It's a special run.
Yep,
it is a special run.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's all we got for the show today. Unless you got anything else.
Nope.
All right. Well, one more time. I'm Spencer. Here with Seth.
Yeah.
And we got Tim over here on the video audio, and we will see you out there, Colorado.
Cool.